Thank you for using EzyEstate. This is a quick tutorial on what to expect from this app, how it'll make your life way simpler in quick decision making, and also to discuss the app's limitation. Now here you see the app interface, what it actually looks like. On the left hand side, you have the interface without the values, and on the right, you have the values as an example. So going through it very quickly, unit price is basically the price you're going to buy the property for. Target selling price is the price you plan to sell the property for in the future, your forecast price. We have our ways and our formula to actually reach this price. It's all covered on the real estate module on the official website, if you'd like to check that out. And the term loan is the number of years which you plan to hold, not hold this property, but your contract with the bank. What is your loan tenure, basically? And your bank interest rate is the interest rate provided by the bank to you. The bank loan acquired is the actual loan acquired, the loan amount. So on the right hand side, you see if you put a down payment or an initial money down of 50,000, you're looking at 450,000 if the price of the property is 500K. Now, holding period, you can choose between 3 to 8 years. Why is this? Because we have highly recommended investors to actually sell off their property or liquidate them within 10 years. The reasons and details are all in the modules. It's all covered there. The maintenance costs, if you have any maintenance costs monthly, put them down over here. If it's yearly, simply divide by 12 and you can put the value here. Legal fees, you estimate legal fees. So how much are you paying to your lawyer to transact to acquire this property? Renovation costs, how much do you plan to actually put down to renovate this property? Others, if there's any taxes, property taxes, or any taxes incurred to keep the property, you can put it down here, or you can simply put 0 as the value. Projected income, your monthly rental, how much do you plan to get for rental for this property? Other income, if there's any other businesses which is related to this property and is giving you income, thanks to having this property as an investment property, then you can put it down. But most likely, you're only looking at rental. So this app gives you two output values, your end estimated profit over the holding period, which is the sum of profit after all significant deductions, basically your net profit once you sell off the property. And number two, the ROI per annum, which is a return percentage year on year for or during the holding period. So this is calculated using your initial equity as down payment plus renovations. So your total cost or the total money you've put down, which is your down payment, and the cost you have put down for renovations is considered as your initial equity, just for your information. Now, once final figures are attained, change holding period to a longer term. Do final values increase? What does this mean? We'll get into this in the very next slide. So here you see the projected outcome, the values which the app calculates for you. So ignore the one on your right hand side for now. Let's focus on the left. Based on a 5-year holding period, these are the values which the app calculates for you. Your total profit and your yearly ROI, you can see over there, 134K and 18%. So this is the figure, and this is what you would get after 5 years based on the inputs which we have shown you earlier. So let's now calculate everything. All the details are the same except the holding period, which changes to 8 years. So based on 8 years of holding this property, you can see your total profit on your right hand side has increased only slightly by about 3,007, and your yearly ROI is now below 14%. So what does this tell you about the property? It tells you that based on these figures, it might not be that worth it to hold it for much longer, because once you have attained the profit at the end of 5 years, 134K, you can't pump this money into new property, into fresh property, which should give you a lot more or a similar amount down the line. Now you might ask, how do I know which is the right property, or how do I know which property should I go for? All this is actually covered in the real estate modules, which you'll find on the official website. This is simply a tutorial on how we reach these numbers and how to use this app. Now, next we'll talk about the app limitation. So the limitation of EzyEstate is simply underestimating overall profit and ROI values slightly. Why does this happen? Simple. You see this region of red and green below in this big box. So the red region is basically the total interest which you'll be paying to the bank, and the green region is simply the principal which you're paying off for your property. So let's say you borrowed 450,000 from the bank. This green region is basically paying down that 450,000 over time. So you see this yellow line over here, that is simply the cut-off line, which means that that is the time you liquidate or you have sold off your property. So let's say that's 5 years in total. You see this little oval over here with the green region. That's the principal which you have paid off for this property. So do note that the app does not take this particular amount into account. We'll go into that in more detail in the next slide. But it is not a bad thing because it just keeps you safe. The numbers you reach with this app are safe, as in you know that if anything, once you reach your target price and estimating you've gotten the rental which you're planning to get, you would be getting slightly more at the end of it than what the app actually shows you. So it's always better to underestimate your values than overestimate. It keeps you safe. Now here, for those who like numbers a little bit more, it's very simple. If you look at the unit being sold for 500,000 and the term is 35 years, the bank interest rate is 4.5%. Loan amount, basically the loan which you have gotten from the bank is 400,000. So in this case, you have put up 100,000 as a down payment, right? So these figures are actually taken from a bank. Of course, I'm not going to name the bank, but it's a reputable one. So do note that formulas do differ bank by bank, even country to country, obviously. So these are figures which you can just use as a reference. You see the 12 rows for each column over here, basically the 12 months. So the figures you see here in year one, for example, you see these figures are the principal which you have been paying off month by month. It's not the interest. So everything else, let's say your total installment per month is about 2,000 or 2001 or 2002. The actual principal you're paying off at the beginning is very small, as you can see here. So the sum of year one is 4,812, right? So let's say the sum of 5 years, as you can see down there, is 26,375. And the sum of 8 years is 45,366, and 10 years is almost 60K, right? So you can see the sum of each year increasing every year. What does this mean? It simply means that your principal, which you're paying off, increases every year slightly. The rest of it is all going as interest to the bank. So let's take 5 years and 10 years as an example. 26,000 and 60,000, right? Approximately. You have only paid off an extra almost 35K to the bank if you have kept it for an extra 5 years. Instead of 26,000, you have paid off almost 60K. That's only an extra 35. So is it really worth it to keep this property to only pay off an extra 35K of your principal? Or is it better to offload the property, this particular case study, after 5 years or soon after 5 years? Because the rest of it is all interest. Sure, your tenant could be paying for it because they're paying you rental every month, but still, would it be better to offload this property and then get fresh property to basically be more efficient with your time and your years? That's something the app allows you to think about. Finally, thank you for downloading the app. Happy investing. Just a note, if you have purchased this app on the App Store or the Play Store, do head on to our official website on EzyEstate.com for all modules and content if you're interested. If you receive this app via email for free, you are already a full member with EzyEstate. Make full use of it and join the community. Any questions regarding the modules or the app or any specific queries, you are full right to ask us or ask the investing team on the forum, and we'll be happy to get back to you. Any issues with the app, do email us directly on the official website. You'll find us on the contact us page, and please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to help. Thank you.